I'm not quite understanding. Are we ready to elect some state officers or what? Good morning to all of you, and welcome to the 2026 Louisiana Boys State Elections Convocations. All of you are getting the opportunity to hear speeches from the Final 14. Please be respectful, listen to what they have to say, and keep this in mind. You are no longer deciding who represents a party. You are deciding who represents a respected organization across this country. Before I get into introductions, I think we ought to recognize the reason we're here. Every single day, when you've been in this room, you've seen the prisoner of war and missing in action table. It's to my left over here in the corner. If you wouldn't mind, would you please stand for a moment of silence? I'd like to ask you to remain standing and pay our respects and pay our thanks to all the Legion volunteers who helped create this organization, helped us throughout this entire week. We actually have a special guest in the back right now, Mr. Bob Chenier, Adjutant for the Louisiana Department of the American Legion. Turn around and give that man a round of applause. Thank you, Mr. Chenier. Thank you to the entire American Legion, the Son of the American Legion, every organization that helps propel Louisiana Boys State forward. All right, that's enough for me. You heard me talk all week, and I know you don't really want to hear me. So without further ado, I'd like to welcome to this podium the State Party Chairman from the Federalist Party, Mr. Oscar Frith.
It is my pleasure today to introduce you to the 7 Federalist nominees for state office. Our candidate for the position of Commissioner of Insurance is Roderick Taylor. For the position of Agriculture, Commissioner of Agriculture is Charles Gilcrease. For the position of State Treasurer is Merrick Allen. For the position of Attorney General is Zion Turner. For the position of Secretary of State is Owen Estee. For the position of Lieutenant Governor is Robert Dew. For the position of Governor is the one and only Franklin Bridwell.
And now, I'd like to welcome to the podium the SBC from the Nationalist Party, Mr. Ross Bieber.
All right, good morning, gentlemen. Stand to be recognized. So, for the position of the Commissioner of Insurance, we have John Parker. For the position of Commissioner of Agriculture, we have Kenny Primus. For the position of Treasurer, we have Connor Toje. For the position of Attorney General, we have Henry Swan. For the position of Secretary of State, we have Colton Bosch. For the position of Lieutenant Governor, we have Mike Hicks. And finally, for the position of Governor, we have Ryan Sipes. So first off, we're going to begin with candidate speeches. So I would like to begin our candidate speeches, I'd like to welcome to the stage a familiar face. Familiar because he crushed the Nationalist Party. You may have also seen him around the cafe networking and trying to spread his message. Please join me in welcoming Commissioner of Insurance candidate John Parker.
Hey man, what's going on? Wait, what? It's already time to elect your 2026 Boys State Commissioner of Insurance? Gentlemen, can you believe it's already that time? I cannot. But whether we're ready or not, It's time to cast your ballots. This is different than the loads of other decisions we have made over the past 6 days. Because we think of what we actually did this week. First, we showed up as strangers, and then we argued, we passed laws, we won elections, we lost elections. We made friends that we're going to remember long after this week is over. We built an entire state together out of nothing. And somewhere in there, we even came together across party lines to agree that I look like you know who. But here's the thing, I'm not up here to talk about myself. You have all watched me all week. You already know what I'm about. This speech isn't about me, it's about you. It's about us. And the truth is that I will not be standing at this podium without every single one of you. So let me say what this office really is. Yeah, it's insurance, but really about the people being protected when life goes wrong. And doing that right isn't complicated. First, you listen to the people you serve, you fight for them, and you make sure they know that they're owed. That's the whole job. And it's the job I want, not for me, but for you. 6 days ago, we didn't know each other. Now we're a state. Thank you for that, genuinely. Before I leave this podium, I just have one question. John Porter's calling. Do you answer? Thank you for this honor. Please vote John Parker for your Commissioner of Insurance.
Gentlemen of Louisiana Boys State, it is my honor to introduce our candidate for Commissioner of Insurance. He's a leader who understands the importance of protecting Louisiana families, and he's committed to fight for the less fortunate to make sure they get the care that they deserve. Please join me in welcoming Roderick Taylor.
Taylor. I would love to be the Commissioner of Insurance because I know how it is being struck. I know how it is to lose someone that don't have insurance. If I'm being quite frank with y'all, I lost my best friend because he didn't have insurance. December 30th, my mom died because she couldn't afford it, but she had it though. I don't mean to make my speech sad, and I'm just saying my truth. Insurance is something every human deserves. No one should have to go through that process to where they don't have enough money for the proper care, but just don't have the option at all. I know you all just know me as the nonchalant dreadhead, but I have many more features than that. We all are humans. You all are my brothers. I wouldn't want nothing but the best for you all. Thank you, J.C. Lewis. Where you at? Stand up, J.C. Lewis. J.C. Lewis, J.C. Picture, where we at? Jamal, Jordan. For all y'all motivation. It's very appreciated. Please vote Roger Taylor for Commissioner of Insurance.
All right, next up, as the Nationalist nominee for Commissioner of Agriculture, I'd like to welcome to the podium Kenny Primus. Kenny is a big reader. I promise you, if you ask him a single question about anything, agriculture, anything, he can somehow find a way to give you a whole library's worth of information in less than 5 minutes. This guy knows almost everything there is. And I bet that he's ready to help better this program with his knowledge. So give it up for Kenny Primus.
as I was practicing the speech, I was wondering, what am I gonna say to you guys? Am I gonna tell you all about how I do football, do powerlifting, all the sports and electives and the clubs that I'm in, from working with select individuals, those with exception, and or turning through scripture, spending my time in the word. And then I thought, man, I'm thinking too much about what I have, who I am. I should really be focusing on what I should bring to the table for you guys. And so I thought I should talk about the policies that I plan to initiate through my bill, through the House of Representatives, in which I plan to push for more funding towards new businesses in agriculture and existing business to stay afloat, through microloans and subsidies, and as well as push for more funding for FFA, our future farmers in America, because I believe that it is crucial to invest in the next generation of agriculturalists. So, you guys, I just want to say thank you for your time, and I want to thank you for your vote. Kenneth Primus, thank you.
It is my pleasure to welcome the Federalist candidate for Commissioner of Agriculture. He understands that farming is the heart of Louisiana culture and economy. He is dedicated to support our farmers and local grown products. He is prepared to serve with hard work and determination. Please welcome Charles Gilcrease.
Good morning, Louisiana Boys State. I stand before you ready to advocate for the farmers, foresters, and fishermen of our beautiful state. I'm Charles Gilcrease, and I'll fight to ensure that these great people of our state are not forgotten by being your Commissioner of Agriculture. I'll advocate for each farmer, whether they own 100 acres or 1,000. I'll give it my all to protect every one of them, but especially the small farms, which frequently struggle to make a profit as they often go into debt to make a living. I'll protect the land from further encroachment by data centers by setting aside specific land just for farmers, not companies that come and only take our land and add nowhere near as much value as farmers in the long run. I'll fight to make that debt easy to pay off by increasing funding for debt relief for these great people who go and work to put food on our tables. I'll defend the foresters that bring $11 billion each year into our glorious state, foresters that need protection from the growing threat of wildfires through better forest management by giving more resources to fire departments to do controlled burns and teaching landowners to do it themselves. I'll advance the interests of the fishermen that supply us with the best seafood in the world. I'll limit the import of foreign seafood and ensure each and every shrimp or oyster you eat is from the Delta or Gulf of America. I'll crusade for the people that make life possible for all of us. I'll give it my all to protect these wonderful farmers, foresters, and fishermen. We wouldn't be here without them, and my fight for them is a fight for the people, because these workers are what make this happen. I'll leave you with a quote from Thomas Jefferson in America's 250th year. Cultivators of the earth are the most valuable citizens. They are the most vigorous, the most independent, the most virtuous, and they are tied to their country and wedded to its liberties and interests by the most lasting band. I'm Charles Gilcrease. Vote me for Commissioner of Agriculture. Thank you.
On behalf of the Federalist Party, I proudly introduce our candidate for State Treasurer. He is committed to taking financial leadership over the state, making sure that money is handled efficiently and transparently. His honesty and intelligence make him the perfect candidate for this office. Please welcome Merrick Allen.
Good morning, gentlemen. As many of you already know, I am not from Louisiana. I came here as an outsider, a military kid living overseas who knew very little about this state, aside from Raising Cane's empire. But over the past week, you've welcomed me. You've enlightened me to your traditions, your culture, your humor, and yes, even what it means to be couillon. I've met too many amazing people to count, and made more memories than I ever thought I would have. From Paris chanting to jump scaring my roommate at 2 a.m. Shout out Philip. Boys State has given me something that I could not be more grateful for. A home. Now I can spend the rest of this time LARPing about how I'm the superior candidate, listing all the redundant accolades that we all have in an attempt to sound better than my co-candidate. But I won't, because we are equal. The truth is that everyone in this room is accomplished. We all lead. We all serve. We all work hard. Instead, I ask for the opportunity to repay all of you. I ask for the opportunity to give back to the people who made me feel at home. Even the guys from Connor's Parish who asked me some ridiculously hard questions last night. Because when someone gives you a home, you don't simply thank them, you serve them. And that is exactly what I hope to do as your treasurer. A treasurer is not simply someone who manages money. A treasurer manages trust. He protects the resources of all people he serves, acts with transparency, and understands that every dollar belongs to somebody else. Today, I ask for the opportunity to serve, not because I'm better, but because I'm grateful. Grateful to the state of Louisiana, grateful to the program of Boys State, and thankful to all the people who became family. God bless Louisiana, God bless Boys State, and God bless all of you. Thank you for giving me a home away from home.
All right. Next up, I'd like to introduce one of the most observant people I know. When I say nothing gets by this guy, I mean, on top of that, he also lets you know that he got you. So believe me when I say, I'm confident every single penny will be accounted for. Please welcome to the stage the Nationalist Treasurer candidate, Connor Toje.
Everybody here? Alright. Hello, everybody. My name is Connor Toje, and I am the Nationalist candidate for State Treasurer. On day one of Louisiana Boys State, I would have never assumed I would be here today. Honestly, I never would have assumed I would be giving a speech to hundreds of people. The reason being, my biggest fear about exactly a week ago was public speaking. However, as Bogafly Parish should know by now, that is not the case. And after losing unironically about 6 or so elections, I learned one major thing. Resilience is key in life. Remembering this, I reflect on a part of a speech that my brother gave to a school in 5th grade. Very specific, I know. It ain't about how hard you hit, it's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward. How much you can take and keep moving forward. That is how winning is done. I feel like this speech truly embodies the most important thing that Louisiana Boys State has taught me, and I felt compelled to share it with y'all. As treasurer, I will leverage the skills my position as superintendent on the school board has provided me with to really connect with my fellow citizens on a personal level. I understand the problems that Boys State is having, and I am prepared to help do whatever is necessary to solve them. My actual history with money has mostly stemmed from fast food and getting my job kids. I'm sure if my family was here, they would tell you I'm always trying to save money by not eating out. And I am eager to always save money, even if they're paying. No matter whose money it is, I'm always aiming for the most profit without lowering quality. The characteristics that I believe every treasurer should have is integrity, a lot of honesty, and good decision-making skills that everybody trusts. Who better fits these qualities than someone who, as all of you should know by now, speaks truly from his heart on all of these matters. My name is Connor Toje, and remember, this is how winning is done.
All right. Now, I would like to introduce to you the Nationalist Attorney General candidate. When I tell you he's fast, I could not believe how fast he was the first time he told me. The number he holds as his school's track and cross-country team captain are insane. But what else is insane is how transparent he is. He is is all for complete honesty, and in times like these, I think we could all use just a little bit more truth. So please join me in welcoming to the stand Attorney General candidate and my good friend, Henry Swan.
Morning. I'd like to first begin by thanking everyone for getting to know me this past week. Yesterday, I spoke with many of you, and some of you guys asked me my biggest fear. It's public speaking. I don't know how confident I feel, how comfortable I feel with many of you knowing that, but I trusted you enough to tell you. Just as I trust you with that, I hope you can trust me to represent you as your Attorney General. My entire platform is built on trust, and my main goal is to make every one of you a friend. During yesterday's town hall meeting, a couple of citizens pointed out that I hadn't yet reached out to everybody. They were right. I can't promise that I'll shake every hand before Election Day, but I can promise you this. Every citizen matters to me whether or not I met you before elections or not. I stand by my belief that a leader is a friend, a motivator, a communicator, and a servant. Leadership is about far more than being the loudest voice in the room or having the longest list of accomplishments. My job will always be to serve you. Whether that's in the courtroom advising your government officials or wherever we find ourselves over the next couple of days, at the end of the day, we were all chosen to be here. Some of us are athletes, others lead clubs. But before any of that, we're citizens. We're people, and every one of us deserves to be here. The fact of the matter is that both candidates come from the same city and the same parish. We both have good dance moves, and we both give everything we have for others. Government is far more important than any one person, and with my knowledge of United States government, Louisiana Boys State will have a strong defender no matter what. This election is an election of character. In just a moment, you'll cast a vote that reflects the kind of leadership you believe in. Don't just vote for the best speech, vote for the person that lets you speak. Vote for the person you trust to defend you with integrity, honor, and dignity, long after the applause ends. Vote for Henry Swan for Louisiana Boys State Attorney General because birds of a feather fly together.
And I'd like to recognize the Attorney General candidate of the Federalist Party. I'm proud to present Zion Turner because he is dedicated to defending the rights of every citizen and committed to upholding the Constitution and ensuring fairness under the law. Please welcome Zion Turner.
Hello, everybody. I'm sure a lot of you. But hello, everybody. Come on. I'm sure everybody already knows my name from the rest of y'all, or the Federalists might know me from computer. Make these guys vote for me. But it's the last day, and I feel sad. And I leave with pride. But when I was at the town hall yesterday, I got asked one simple question. What's the best piece of advice you've ever heard? And how will you use that as Attorney General? And I gave them a quick answer as the rest of the room pulled up the AI questions, filled with humongous paragraphs that I got confused about. But as I sat in my room at almost 2 in the morning, I thought of one saying nonstop. You win some, you lose some, but you live to fight another day. So now, I have one simple question for you all. Will you trust me to defend you? When I first got on this campus, I thought it was a simple count. My mom kissed me on the cheek and said, "All right, son, I love you," in a sweet New Orleans accent. As I responded, I rolled my suitcase, scared and timid. I thought one thing, will I little myself and act different, or will I be me? When I was a little boy, I always had a bright personality, but it seemed like somewhere in between, there, I kind of lost that, and I found myself shrinking into a small dark box. I chose the position of vice president because I was programmed to believe that I was something less than. But talking to so many of y'all here today, I've seen that I'm not thin. And I shake y'all's hands. I can't even see it because I'm about to start crying. As I shook some of y'all hands, I got very touched by the way that y'all nurtured me, and I finally got my voice. But I lost a lot of elections before this, and I owe one thing to you all as Attorney General, and that is to fight for the vulnerable, like I was when I first came here. And I owe it to you all. So I ask for you to vote for me for Attorney General, because I know what it's like to be vulnerable. And I know what it's like now to have a position of power. So thank you. And computer, make these guys vote me.
On behalf of the Federalist Party of Louisiana, I am proud to present our candidate for Secretary of State. He understands the importance of secure elections and citizen participation. He is proud to ensure that every person's voice is heard. His experience, leadership, and dedication to public service make him the perfect candidate for this office. Please welcome Owen Estee.
Good morning, Boys State. When you think of paperwork, I bet you think of boring. But you know what I think? I don't think it's boring. When you think of elections, I bet you think they're easy to conduct. But you know what? They aren't. I've campaigned on a platform of passion and purpose. But passion for a position means nothing if you aren't willing to work towards every single bit of a goal, regardless of whatever setback may come with it. When you think of the Secretary of State, I bet you think that there's only a finite amount of things that they can do. But the fact is that from notaries to registering every single business you've ever interacted with, to simply making sure that all the T's are crossed and I's are dotted, the Secretary of State sees no slow day, because the will of the people is an ever-present thing that needs to be steered through the proper channels. Though not a flashy or loud office, Secretary of State requires dedication, drive, and passion to make sure that even if the news may not be good, even if you may have a personal grudge, the will of the people is reported, recorded, and explained in the proper way. I'm a firm believer in empirical truths. And when you have experience in the federal government, accomplishments in the law, and a drive to continue to engage in change, it might just mean that you have the passion for a position. But what about the difficulties? I've been laughed at. I've been made to feel less than a human. Shot down on ideas that I thought were amazing. But what did I do? I got up and I made the most of a bad situation. Your defeats only make you stronger. So if you want a secretary who will not waver from his duties to serve as chief record keeper and chief elections officer, no amount of persuasion or donations or words will be enough to knock me from this important, yet often misunderstood and complicated duties. When you think of a Secretary of State, I hope you think of me. So if you want the best day, I would be humbled if you voted for me, Owen Wesley Estee. God bless, and let's go Boys State. All right, now for our Secretary of State candidate. When I first met him, I noticed two big things, and no, I'm not talking about his massive arms. I realized just how calm he is under pressure. Even though all of the high tensions at the national selections, he still managed to give a down-to-earth, smooth speech. Next, I caught up on how passionate he was. I mean, like, he loves that y'all trusted him enough to make it this far. And I think he's ready to stand up for people. Please welcome to the stage, Colton Bosch.
What's up, fellas? Have you guys ever asked yourself the simple but powerful question? If I could not fail, what would I do with my life? Well, this question has changed the way I think, the way I act, and the way I live. It taught me that fear builds barriers, but confidence creates opportunities. Because I asked myself this question, I met incredible people, stepped outside my comfort zone, and found courage to stand before people. It pushed me to grow, it pushed me to lead, and it pushed me to serve. And this is exactly why I'm running to be your Secretary of State. My name is Colton Bosch, and I believe I have the qualities this position demands. I'm organized, I'm dependable, and I'm determined. Those aren't just words, those are habits. I have represented my school before our parishes Board of Education as a member of a student advisory group, proving that I can lead with confidence. And as a member of both my baseball and football team, I've learned the value of teamwork, discipline, and dedication. Leadership isn't about standing above others, it's about standing beside them. The Secretary of State serves as the governor's official record keeper. We witness important state documents and oversee elections. If elected, one of my top priorities would be making Election Day a state holiday. Why? Because every voice deserves to be heard, every vote matters, and every voice matters. By making Election Day a holiday, we can increase voter turnout by giving people the time they need to participate. We can strengthen election security by allowing poll workers to carefully verify ballots, and we can reduce election discounts by giving volunteers and officials the time and support they need to count every vote accurately. So today I ask for your vote, not because I have all the answers, but because I'm willing to work for them. Together we can lead with integrity, serve with purpose, and build a stronger Boys State. Remember the question that started it all. If you knew you could not fail, what would you do? I choose to stand before you today. I'll hope you choose to stand with me. And I have just one thing to admit. My palms are sweaty, my knees are weak, my arms are heavy. There's vomit on my sweater already. Mom spaghetti, vote me for secretary.
All right, next up, I would like to introduce you all to a very special young man. Since age 5, he's been spreading the word of the Lord as a preacher. Yes, you heard that right, age 5. At age 12, he delivered his first sermon entitled, "I Must Be About My Father's Business." A community leader, he is an elect member of several leadership programs and societies at the school. He's also a minister at his church. Nationally known for his extraordinary maturity and focus, he has earned the respect of everyone who has had the pleasure to hear him speak. I hope today we can all be inspired by his faith and dedication. Join me in welcoming to the podium, Michael Hicks.
Good morning, gentlemen. It's an honor to stand before you today as a candidate for Lieutenant Governor. For a few minutes, I want to tell you that this time will be different. I remember back in 2022 when I was gearing up to watch the 94th Academy Awards celebration with my family, just like how some of you were. But that night didn't go as planned. That night we saw well-known actor and rapper Will Smith get up from his seat, walk onto the stage, and slap comedian Chris Rock. It was embarrassing, disrespectful, and completely out of line. But 4 months after that moment, Will Smith released a YouTube video where he not only answered some of the people's ongoing questions, where he not only apologized to Chris Rock and family, but he expressed deep remorse regarding the incident and indicated that if he had the chance, he would have handled the situation differently. Too often we settle for the same divisions. We cope with the same empty promises. We deal with the same speeches that sound good in the moment, but change nothing afterward. But my question today is, what if we did things differently? What if this time was different? I'm Michael Coleman Hicks. I'm 16. I'm a student, but most importantly, as you've heard, I am a preacher. And I'm asking for your votes to serve as your Lieutenant Governor. Despite what we have been told, allow me to be the bearer of this news. We are not here because we're called to be the leaders of tomorrow. We're here because we're called to be the leaders of today. If elected Lieutenant Governor, I don't simply want to hold a position, but I would like to create an atmosphere where every delegate feels seen, heard, and valued.
As your lieutenant governor, I want to build bridges, because politics should never become personal. The truth of the matter is, yes, we can disagree without engaging in disrespect. Different opinions should sharpen us and not separate us. I want to serve with purpose, because the best leaders do not ask how many people can serve me, but they ask how many people can I serve. Even our resurrected Savior Jesus Christ said in Mark chapter 10, verse 45, for even the Son of Man did not come to serve, but to serve. If the greatest leader in history chose serve over status, then so should we. But I want to leave this place better than we found it. Let's not just cherish the memories we have made here, but let's leave a legacy. Because let's be honest, nobody years from now will remember who gave the longest speech, but they will remember who made the biggest difference. So here's what I'm asking you today. Let's prove that young leaders can lead with integrity, conviction, and compassion. Because this time will be different. Different because we choose to build bridges, different because we choose purpose, and different because we choose to leave a legacy. My name is Michael Coleman Hicks, and I assure you all that this time will be different.
It is my great pleasure to introduce our candidate for Lieutenant Governor. He is passionate about all things that make Louisiana great, and he believes in bringing people together to strengthen our communities. Through his hard work and leadership, our candidate has stood out among the rest, and I am proud to call forward Robert Duda.
Good afternoon, gentlemen. As you may know, I'm Robert Dude, and I'm a candidate for Lieutenant Governor. Being on stage here today wasn't something I planned for it at the very beginning, but I'm glad to be up here representing you all. I want to start by saying that English is my second language. So I'm not very good at public speaking, but as I ran for election after election, I began to build my confidence. I learned from my past mistakes, and I built upon. But before I move forward with the rest of my speech, I want to address something important. I realized during yesterday town hall meetings that I was not being fully transparent. Although I said Robert Dude would do it for you, I realized that no elected official can truly do everything for everyone. However, that still won't stop me from doing my best to represent every citizen in every way possible. Moving forward, what I can promise is this. If elected Lieutenant Governor, I'll work every day to represent you all. No matter how you feel about me, whether you support me from the very beginning, or you stick with your own opinion, I still respect you, I'll still listen to you, and I'll do everything in my power to advocate for you. You know, I've been asked a question about my greatest weakness, and for that, I say it's perfectionism. As a first-generation immigrant, I grew up with parents who had high expectations of me. However, sometimes I fall short of perfection, and I feel like I failed at everything. But I learned that nothing is anywhere near perfect, that nobody is perfect, and that nobody can do a task perfectly. Nevertheless, with running for Lieutenant Governor, I realized that I have the perfect ability to give you my all. Throughout Boys State, we have all received help from one way or we have all received help one way or another. Whether it's from another citizen or someone you are going against, we all learn from one another. To me, that's what leadership is about. Not doing everything alone, but bringing people together to accomplish a goal as a team. Together, everybody can accomplish more. As I'm sitting here today, I want you all to move forward with me to achieve your dreams, work hard to do something you haven't done before, and never give up on what you believe in. Most of you have heard this quote already, but it goes, a jack of all trades, master of none, but still beats a master 1,000 to 1. I wish for us all to band together, not just as individual citizens, but as one whole state. Every difference between us is not a weakness. It's an opportunity to learn something new from one another. But I would like to end off with one thing. The greatest achievement is not always created by one person. It's created by the people who work together towards a goal. Thank you all,
God bless America, and God bless Boise.
All right, gentlemen, this is the last time you will hear me speak today and probably for a long time. So I want to leave you with this. I hope y'all listened to the speeches you made prepared for you today. I mean, y'all heard some incredible speeches, and I have a tremendous amount of respect for the people behind them. So, next up, to introduce you to your governor candidate for the Nationalist Party, I welcome up to the stage the Chapelite BBC, Caden Doyle.
Good morning, gentlemen. It's my honor to introduce a candidate who understands that the governor's most important responsibility is to represent each citizen of Boys State. I've had the privilege of working alongside Ryan Sipes, and I've seen firsthand his character, his work ethic, and his commitment to serving others. He understands that this office isn't about personal recognition. It's about being a faithful representation of the people who place their trust in him. Ryan is committed to leading with integrity, transparency, respect, all while ensuring every citizen has a seat at his table. If you're looking for a governor who will represent all of Boys State with honor and dedication, then your choice is clear. So please join me in a round of applause as we're welcoming your next governor of Louisiana Boys State, Ryan Sipes.
Gentlemen, I stand before you today with a great deal of humility, as well as a great deal of pride, both of which stem from the fact that I was selected by y'all to speak right here, right now, in front of 222 of the best future leaders of our nation. Not only that, I'm blessed enough to speak as one of your nominees for governor. You know, I say it quite often, and I'm going to say it again. One of the main parts of my platform that I hope sticks with all of y'all throughout this election is that I truly believe I'm one of y'all. And the reason I say that is because all of us here are the people who are going to bring about change. Through the diversity of our leadership strategies and the diversity of our opinions. That is the only way we can get real change to happen in Louisiana. I believe that with all of my heart. Truly and truly. I can't stress it enough. You know, another thing that I hope everyone understands about me is what I'm running for. But it's rather who I'm running for. Because I'm running for you. I'm running for each and every one of you. I'm running for each and every one of you to have their view heard. For each and every one of you to have their voice spoken. Because this position as Louisiana Boys State Governor represents not just their party, not just the parish, but every last one of us. Finally, I want to address one of the best questions that I was asked yesterday during town hall, and that is why I'm running for governor. And whether or not you believe this is a cheesy or a cliche answer, I truly believe this with my entire heart. The reason I'm running for governor is because I love to represent. That's my why. That's why I want to do this. You know, gentlemen, I had the privilege last night to speak with all of y'all. I got to answer any and all questions y'all have for me, along with my fellow nominee. But most importantly, I got to meet all of y'all. I got to meet each and every person that I'm going to represent. Through that, I got to introduce y'all to who the real Ryan Sipes is and what he believes in. And I hope that I prove to you not just why I'm qualified, but rather how I can and will do everything in my power to help us finish strong here at Louisiana Boys State. You know, I graciously appreciate the opportunity to speak in front of y'all today, and I heavily implore you to consider voting Ryan Sipes for your governor. And I can assure you that a vote for me is a vote for we as a whole. Thank you.
I would like to call forward Campaign Manager Dale Michael Move III.
Good morning, Boys State. Now, before we go ahead and cast the votes today, I just want to take a moment to reflect on what it was like when we walked here on day one. I know I was a little timid, just like a lot of you. But that all changed when I got into the common room at Taylor Hall, where I first met Franklin. Franklin was there, shaking hands, making friends, and starting chants. When other men would have chosen to stay quiet and timid, Franklin rose above it and chose to make friends. I saw this continue to happen throughout the rest of the week and other academics with all the other citizens and meals. And here at Boys State, there are a little bit of rivalries. But Franklin, he believes that unity is strength. He wants to bring you a unified Louisiana. And with Hurricane Haley just over the horizon, he will bring order to chaos. Now, gentlemen, please join me in welcoming your next state governor, Mr. Franklin Pridwell.
President Franklin D. Roosevelt once said, "The ultimate rulers of our democracy are not presidents, not the senators, not the congressmen, not the government officials, but the voters of this country." Good afternoon, everyone. Me and old Roosevelt, we share more than a first name. We share the idea that people together are stronger than the leaders in a democracy. We also share the commitment to sacrifice everything we can to the betterment of the people in the future. The responsibility of a true leader is not individual success, but success for their constituents. And the truest award a leader can receive is for the people he governs to overshadow his greatness entirely. Being remembered is not the goal for me. This year, being known as the best 220 boys that have ever come out of this program is. And the only way I can represent your votes, your opinions, your ideas is to communicate with me. Communicate to the people that serve you, and let us fight for everything that you believe in. I gave the same explanation to the Federalists. There's only one word that describes all of this. A word we use every day, rarely stop to understand. Democracy. I can't allow myself to morally run a government in which the people are not represented. For without the people, nothing succeeds. But with the people, nothing can fail. Be bold, be original, and vote Bridwell. Thank you.
Gentlemen, I get one more round of applause for all the candidates. Heard a lot of great speeches, a lot of great approaches to leadership, and it's commendable the work they've done thus far. But now it's time to decide. It's time to vote. I spoke to you this morning about it. It's the strongest power you have as a citizen of the United States. It's either the vote that you cast or the vote that you do not cast. There's one man, there's one vote, one opportunity to decide who represents Louisiana Boys State. Look, don't get me wrong, voting is a right, but it's also your responsibility. Because without effective leaders being held accountable by the people's vote, our government, and quite frankly, our American way of life, will simply crumble. I'm going to begin dismissing you very shortly to cast your ballots. PCs, I'd ask that you have your city clerks at the front of the parish so they can serve and perform their duties as a registrar of our voters. Citizens, this is very important. Please have your name tag. Louisiana Boys State, that will serve as your voter ID. The Louisiana Secretary of State's office will supply paper ballots and all the necessary materials for this election. The office will tally the votes. The office will certify and seal the results. I ask that you give the utmost respect to the election personnel out in the lobby, to your counselors as they direct you, and to the candidates that you gave your attention to this morning. At this point, I'll dismiss my candidates to my right. Please give them one more round of applause.